Hey, what's going on, guys? Daniel here from ModBot, and this is kind of an interesting video. It's not intended to be sad, but more of a tribute, and also to show off a project about my cat, Sabrina. So, if anybody that still watches my channel watched my videos back when I initially got started, back in probably 2011, 2012, my cat Sabrina was in a lot of my videos. It was like every time I hit record, she had to come on camera and do something silly in the background. And most of the time when I'm recording, I had no idea she was even there. And it wasn't until after the fact that people would say, "Oh, look at your cat," or "What is she doing?" Or she would like go on my bed and do that whole patty cake thing that cats do and get comfortable. And there was people that it almost felt like would come to some of my videos just to see if they could spot the cat. And unfortunately, a couple of months ago, maybe 2 months ago now, we had to put her down after 17 long years. And again, this video is not meant to be a downer, but more of, kind of a celebration and just a tribute to my awesome cat that I had for 17 years. I'm only 26, so I got her when I was 9 years old, and she has always been there through, middle school and high school and after. It was always this cat that we rescued that was super attached to me. And we honestly thought that she was not going to make it nearly as long as she did. So we are very thankful for the amount of years that we got. But when my mom did have to get her put down, she actually got this really nice, I guess you would call it like a casket box type thing for her. And she was buried up at my parents' cabin where she spent the last couple years just hanging out and enjoying nature out there. And I wanted to do something kind of cool for her and not only dedicate this video to her, but also do a little bit of CNCing to make a cross for her rest site where she's at. So in this video, again, the main point of it is that it's a tribute to Sabrina, for anybody, again, that knew her or saw her on my videos. And she was just such a rad cat that I think she at least deserves that much. But in this video, I went ahead and designed a cross that had her name and a cat paw print on there, using a combination of Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Carbide Create. And this was also kind of exciting because it was the first time that I actually milled out CNC of a hardwood. So far, I've only done plywoods and acrylic, and I picked up some really nice pieces of wood, some walnut, and I believe it was some birch. And so I figured this was a really good opportunity to try out some of those hardwoods and make her a really nice and, little kind of farewell or resting piece for where she is buried at. So again, in this video, I took that into Carbide Create. I created the toolpaths. I used two different end mills. It was 0.06 and 0.03 of an inch. So that's what it was. I apologize for that. But yeah, so I took it into Carbide Create and used the predefined profiles. Took that piece of walnut that I had gotten cut down at Home Depot. And man, this stuff is a lot more expensive than the plywood, which is, I've had it for a while and I was like, oh man, I don't want to just do anything with it. I want to do something cool, or something that I felt was worthy of using this really nice wood. And this again was definitely that time. So I took some double-sided carpet tape and really put some pressure on it to make sure it was nice and stuck on the piece of wood. Then I peeled that off and stuck it into place on the Carbide 3D Nomad's MDF or wasteboard. I also had picked up some polyurethane, which didn't seem to do too much with the plywood, but I figured that from what I'd seen with this nice walnut wood, it would really bring out some of the grains and the colors and the textures. So I wanted to do that after the fact and kind of finish off the piece a little bit here. So once I had it secured, I went ahead and opened the Carbide Motion software. And in the Motion software, all I did was set the 0 point of the X, Y, and Z. So I just traveled or jogged over the end mill to the correct place. I got it as close as I could with just eyeballing it. And I chose the top left point as the 0 point since this wood actually is a bit big for the Nomad, so it's actually sticking out the front, so I figured the back left would be the best point. And then I just got my piece of paper and slowly dropped down that end mill until I could feel it touching on the top surface of the paper. And once I had felt like I had got the perfect 0-0 positioning, I was off and I let this go. So I initially started off with doing the fine details, which was her name or the lettering, which was a really nice font that I found off of a website called DeFont, which I'm sure most of you know, but it's a really great website to get various fonts that you can install. So I did that and the cat paw print first, and once I had done that, I had set a tool change in Carbide Create software. So once the tool change came up, I swapped from the 0.03 roughly end mill to the 0.06, and the 0.06 was a bigger one that I used to mill out more wood quickly, and that tool path was actually to mill out the whole entire cross, as you can see here. All in all, I want to say that this whole process took about an hour or so. I did do a couple extra paths that I don't think I needed to do, but I wanted to make sure that I had gotten everything nice and cleared out. So once it was done, all I did was pop off the other portions of the wood that didn't need to be stuck. The carpet tape works incredibly well, almost too well. The stuff that came with the Nomad is definitely preferred over this stuff that I picked up from Home Depot. This one actually has like strings or threads in the adhesive, which makes it a real pain to clean up. I'm gonna have to look into either getting some different tape or just figuring out a way where maybe some rubbing alcohol would potentially help with removing that adhesive. So this is how it looked fresh off of the mill without anything being done at all. So then I took it over to the kitchen sink and got my foam brush and some polyurethane, and I just began to apply some coats all over it back and forth. I did a little bit heavy on the parts where there was the her name and the paw print, just so that way it went into all the different crevices, because doing a light coat wasn't reaching down below. And as you can see, I mean, this polyurethane does an incredible job of just sealing and really bringing out those colors in this walnut. It's amazing. Really, really beautiful piece of wood. And this was a lot of fun, again, in an appropriate, I think, timing and use to bust out this walnut. So because of the amount of polyurethane that I coated on, which again was in all reality probably far too much, I probably could have done a lot less and then also dabbed off a bit more in the end. I did let it dry overnight, and this was it before, and this was the end result right here. So I think it turned out beautiful. I think Sabrina would absolutely love it, and I am really stoked on this. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. I've got a ton of videos lined up, and I'm sorry that it's been a bit of a delay, but again, a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and I'm very much so looking forward to doing some cool, more CNC projects, 3D printing projects, and a few other things that I got lined up. So on that note, don't forget to smash the like button, and looking forward to seeing you guys all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out. Peace, guys.